welcome back to the Richer Woman Festival. In this panel, we'll be talking about securing the bag. According to Melinda Gates, empowering women is the most single powerful lever for improving the lives of human beings as well as society. However, the gap is really wide, so despite efforts have been made either by government or individuals. Also, money is the single biggest obstacle to gender equality in sub-Saharan Africa because women have less of it. And so we have accomplished women and successful women who are shattering glass ceilings. I mean, we can name them Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, our very own, in their careers and all of that. But we hope that this panel inspires you to secure the bag and also helps other women to do so. So we're looking forward to helping any woman who's watching move closer to her dream goals. So with me on this panel, introducing the amazing women who are going to be speaking on this panel, is our first panelist, Valerie Obaze. Over the past decade, a movement of young and innovative African entrepreneurs have started looking deeper into the remarkable phenomenon that is shea butter and other African staple plants, and using it as a means to create brands that empower people, particularly women all over the continent. At the helm of this movement is the dynamic and a true visionary Valerie Obaze, declared by Forbes as an African skincare trailblazer. With her genuine and luxurious brand, R&R Luxury, Valerie is taking ownership of the shea butter narrative, giving it an authentic and global voice. Welcome to the Richer Woman Festival, Valerie.
Hi, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Also on this panel is Akugo Aloma. Akugo is a devout Christian wife and mother to 4 lovely children. She has worked at strategic services and real estate firms at Calgary, the UK. She is the face behind Deborah Collections, Calgary, Canada. Currently a student of social work at the University of Calgary, Canada. So we're talking about securing the bag in career and in business. So let me ask Ms. Valerie.
Yes.
The topic, I mean, securing the bag. What does it mean to you, and what do you think it could mean to anyone who's going to be watching over their screens?
I mean, I think it's a very interesting question. I don't know. I mean, securing the bag on social media normally means getting your money, making sure you get that paycheck. So I suppose in some respects, it's just about taking charge of your financial destiny and, doing what you can to make sure that you're in control of that as much as you can be.
Thank you. Okay, I'll go over to you, Ms. Aloma. So what does securing the bag mean to you?
Okay, for me, securing the bag means me being able to fulfill my purpose. So I don't want to talk about just the money aspect. I will talk about me being able to, fulfill God's plan for my life. And whatever it is, you need the resources, you need the money. So that's how I will explain that.
Awesome. Thank you very much. So I'll go over to Miss Valerie. You started off working as a PR consultant and you were pretty successful working with brands like Tiffany Amber, and then you transitioned into the luxury skincare industry and you have become, the African skincare trailblazer. And now you also have other entrepreneurial ventures. So transitioning from one career to another can be tough, especially having a successful career and then going to start over in a new industry. Could you share with us why you transitioned and share any tips that a woman who is starting her transition journey, can take in order to move forward?
Okay, thank you for the question. I would say that initially, yes, I worked in PR. My background, I studied communications, culture and media, and straight out of university, even before I actually graduated, I had worked with PR agencies. So public relations was my set career path initially, and I worked for music industry, consumer PR, fashion, beauty, and when I was living in the UK, I worked for different agencies, and not long before leaving, I also set up my own PR agency with a friend of mine, and we were working in the lifestyle, travel, and fashion sector. When I moved to Nigeria at the time, I was able to actually carry across two of my clients who we were working with in the UK were actually Nigerians living in the US who had brands that they were kind of working with and promoting in Nigeria at the time. Both jewelry designers, one a fine jewelry designer and one a semi-precious jewelry designer. So I was able to kind of wet my feet in the PR industry in Lagos with these people behind me, which was very interesting. And I got to learn a lot about the media industry in Nigeria through them. I met loads of the fantastic editors of the publications, and I got to learn a lot about the fashion industry there as well while I was doing my PR role. Now, the reason I moved to Nigeria is because I just got married, and my husband, like me, was born and raised in the UK, but his background and family background is Nigeria, and he had just moved. Well, he'd moved to Nigeria a few years before, so I moved there to join him. And for us, we were starting out our family for the first time. After about a year of living in Lagos, I gave birth to my first child, and that, changed the perspective of how I wanted to be an entrepreneur. So in the PR, freelancing, consultancy role is very much a service role. So you're working with different brands, but you're at service to the brands that you're working with. And in that respect, you have to ensure that you have enough time and energy to put into, other people's brands and help to promote those brands as much as possible, both locally, but also internationally. And I very much enjoyed doing that. I came across so many, Nigeria has such a fantastic, creative industry that it was really a wonderful experience for me to be able to work with some of the best in those industries. In fashion, I worked with Tiffany Amber. In music, we helped launch Davido in his first album at the time, and this is in 2000 and maybe 11. So it goes back a long way, and I had fantastic experience in the industry. But one thing that I knew is that I wanted to create something that would outlive me. So a legacy brand.
Love that.
I wasn't sure exactly what it was, but giving birth to my first daughter opened the doors to me looking at what was missing, what I needed, and what we had in our vicinity in abundance, but we were not making the most of. And for me, that was the shea butter, and that's how the brand started.
Awesome. I mean, that I love the point you made about having your daughter, and that changing the way you thought about business and what you should do with your time. We'll come back to that, but let me touch on the point you made earlier in terms of transitioning, because many women are in situations where right now they're working at a place and then their spouses are in a different place. So many women are having to make the decision to, am I going to relocate? Am I going to go somewhere else? What happens to my career? So I'd like to ask Miss Aloma, you obviously did this whole transitioning thing, being an expatriate wife. So can you tell us a bit about relocating to a totally new location somewhere else, because you had to relocate with your husband? What was it like? How were you able to integrate yourself into a new system, into a new everything is new, location, some places, language, culture, and then having to find your feet as a woman and as a viable asset to your wife and a loving wife and mother, not someone who's always constantly looking behind to see, oh, where we were was really better.
Okay, thank you. So, I'll first of all talk about, women understanding that we have purpose in life. So whether I'm an expatriate wife or I'm not, it doesn't stop that. So you understanding that you have something God has given to you to do for Him is going to help. So being an expatriate wife, God knows that at some point in my life, I'm going to be an expatriate wife. So it doesn't stop the vision. It doesn't stop the purpose of God for my life. So when it was time for me to leave Nigeria, already what I was doing was going down. So the finance sector was going down. So I was happy to leave. So my leaving wasn't a problem, but I still had to go, leaving the purpose I knew God has called me to do. So it was very easy for me to, move to Dubai because I was always there. I had visited. It wasn't really a new place and it wasn't really different from Nigeria. Like currently I live in Canada, so which is quite different from when I used to live in Dubai. So I couldn't go back to what I was doing because I couldn't, integrate into the finance sector in Dubai because it was a little difficult from what I was doing back home. So I asked myself, so what else? And I know I have the gifting, to do clothing, to market, the clothing business. So I just went into it, but I didn't just start when I was in Dubai. I started when I was in Nigeria. So what I'm trying to say is, if you have a white collar job as a woman, there's something. The Bible says, what do you have in your hands? When God asked Moses, there's something about you. There's something you have. So you should be able to discover yourself. You don't wait till when it becomes difficult for you or you're trying to integrate into what you were doing before in a new place and you're finding it difficult to do that. No, you have to start now. So having a white collar job or being a professional doesn't stop you because there's a gifting, that you have. So try to develop that because that was what helped me. So living in Dubai, it wasn't difficult for me to do what I've been doing, but then you have to learn to navigate because the structures are different. The policies are different. So back home, what I was doing, I was importing, but coming to Dubai, I was exporting. So that's the difference. You just keep learning. I'm in Canada now. I'm not exporting, rather I'm importing. I'm bringing things from Africa. So it's just your ability to navigate, understand the policies. It can never be like Nigeria. But are you living the purpose? Are you living the purpose? Because as a woman, there's something, married to an expatriate doesn't mean your life is too good, and it doesn't mean that you should stop living your dreams. If I'm joining my husband, I'm joining him because I have to be with him. But it doesn't mean my dream should die. It doesn't mean my purpose for existing to die should die. So wherever you are, just live the purpose. So that's what I have to say.
Ms. Saloma, as we were speaking, our third guest came in. Welcome, Ms. Yagazie Gore. Thank you so much for joining us. Yagazie is a renowned professional photographer, a creative force, an educator, and a leader within the photography industry, who is changing the narrative of photography in Africa through her premium photography brand, Gazmadu Studios. She's the lead creative and founder of Gazmadu Studios, a premium award-winning photography company on a mission to amplify the essence of people through the power of photography. Thank you for joining us, Ms. Yagazie. You're welcome to Securing the Bag on the Risha Women Festival.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm very happy to be here.
Great. So there's one question we asked everyone. what does securing the bag mean to you? And you work in a relatively male-dominated industry, I mean photography. So securing the bag in the male-dominated industry, how has it been for you? What is it like? And what would you want to tell women who have an interest in either photography or in areas where there are more male folks than women?
Thank you so much for that question. So securing the bag for me says and means just going for what is yours and knowing that you have what it takes to get that. Yes, I am in a male-dominated industry, but I see it also as an opportunity. I don't even see it as, being in an industry where there are lots of, men. I just see it as an advantage because I have come to realize that there is a perspective that women bring into every industry. And there is a way that we do business, there is a way that we see, there's the way that we create, and that in itself is very valuable. So what I would say to any woman that wants to go into photography or go into any industry that is male dominated is just to know that, you're the woman for the job, really, in the sense that you can be anything that you want to be. It's not going into it because, this is somewhere that is male dominated, I want to be the only woman there. That's not, reason enough. But if this is something you're passionate about, I would say definitely go for it because there is something that you have that is very needed in the market and that is also very needed in the industry. There is a perspective, there is your own story that you're going to bring to the table that is completely going to change how things are being done. Yeah, so that has been my story.
Thank you so much, Ms. Yagazie. And I'll move over to Ms. Valerie. I mean, you've been passionate about impact and starting off with mompreneur in the early part of your career journey, and now you have established a development project, Women of Savannah Development Project. So what is the project and why is it important for women to build sustainable businesses or introduce sustainability into their businesses, as well as either empower or support other women, especially women at the bottom of the ladder? Yeah, as quickly as possible.
Well, you see, when you ask me a lot of questions, I have to try and remember everything you asked and then respond to all of them. So that's why I tend to go on.
I'm sorry.
Quickly, a lot of things women do. If we're the women, if we're not going to empower the women, who's going to empower the women? We have to be responsible for bringing each other up. And a lot of the things that we do as entrepreneurs or as women in general is the things that we create are born out of experience. So the Mompreneurs Network was something I created with my cousin because we were both female entrepreneurs, balancing work, balancing motherhood, and wifedom, looking after our husbands and our children and our businesses. And we knew that there were other people that would have shared experience, and what better to have than a group of women or a network of women that knew exactly what you were going through, that you could sit down, share things with each other, but also bring each other up, to raise each other up, help each other out, and see what you can create together. So if I know something, why can't I share that with my fellow sister who is maybe starting out in the industry and needs to know, what is the best company to use for POS system in your store? These kind of things. That's why we started Mompreneurs Network. Then the Women of the Savannah Development Project is the non-profit arm of R&R Luxury. So R&R, we're in the sheer industry. We create a finished product that we sell and we export regionally, locally, internationally. Now, what do we want to do about the people that are on the other end of the value chain who are not seeing the finished product? So they're the ones that are working hard in the field, collecting the nuts at dawn, going through all sorts of hazards to be able to bring us the share that we need to create our product. Without them, we couldn't be R&R. So we have a responsibility to ensure that those women too are okay. Now, you've heard many international companies tell the story of share on our behalf. It's fantastic, but all the women that they say that they've empowered, where are those women? Are they successful now? Is there a benchmark to show that, okay, we've done this, and now look, these women have changed, that we've changed their lives, they're no longer in the poverty cycle? No, those women are still poor. So I, as an indigenous Ghanaian beauty brand, using indigenous ingredients, I have a responsibility to ensure that I can impact the lives of those women that are creating the products that I need for my business. And that's not just born out of the fact that I need those products to produce, but also I'm a woman, and those are my mothers, those are my grandmothers, great grandmothers, and they are raising the generations of the future. So we have to ensure sustainability, not just in the way we produce, but in the people and the lives that we touch and the lives that we impact as well.
Thank
I
you.
hope that was quick enough.
Thank you. I mean, you did a great job. Thank you so much. I mean, we have a lot of things to cover. However, we would like to thank our speakers for being here. For those who have not officially met them, I mean, there is Yagazie of Gazmadu. Please follow her on social media. She had the Lady Boss portrait, which she had done a couple of months ago, and there's a theme, is a cut across Lagos and Ghana. And so if you're a woman who is in career or in business, you're looking to do your transform yourself and position yourself with a brand that is both global, please reach out to her. And then I love the part that Ms. Valerie talked about, the fact that sustainability is a crucial part of business, and her R&R brand has a sustainable it has a development so if a woman in business is something to think about. So even if you cannot start your own development project, you can partner with another woman who has an impact project, so that your business is not just making money, but it's also impacting lives. And thank you to our speaker, Ms. Aloma. I mean, her insights on having to tweak, or will I say reinvent yourself, look within yourself. I mean, what do I have? How do I tweak what I know, my experience, to function in the situation where I find myself? So, like, there's a popular quote that says, I mean, there are many fishes in the water. I would like to encourage every woman out there, you're not the fish in the water, you are the water. So wherever you go, you can maneuver yourself, you can do anything with who you are and where you are. Thank you everyone for joining Securing the Bag. We'll see you in the next segment.